We're kicking things off with a bang. Several heavyweight matchups highlight this Week 1 edition of the Blitz. Hillside invades New Bern for the first time in a rematch of the 2010 Eastern Regional Final. Defending 3A champ Havelock hits the road to take on J.H. Rowe. Northside went after its 9th straight win over rival White Oak. And Riverside and Aiden Grifton had another wild finish. Summer's over. Time to see who's getting schooled.
You might as well play us home next year because you still gonna get a rookie.
The Blitz starts now.
Welcome to another award-winning edition of The Blitz. I'm Brian North. This is Drew Hinesley, new partner this year. Welcome to the Friday Night Football Extravaganza.
Glad to be here, man. Let's get this thing started. We got a lot to get to.
We do. Let's start with our Blitz premiere matchup. Features two teams that are among the best in 1A year in and year out. We have some memorable battles in the last couple of years between Riverside and Aiden Grifton. And this was a sloppy game. Special teams not so special in the first game. Riverside had 2 fumbled punts in this snap, and see McGill's team down 21-13, but they come back with defense. A couple of pick sixes, including Daniel Everett, the big guy, gets it at midfield and rumbles 47 yards to tie it up at 21 all. Oh, Keith Spence. Yeah, Keith texts and he tweets. He's a man of many talents. Meanwhile, more problems holding on to the ball. The Chargers cough it up. Riverside recovers in AG territory. Paul Cornwell says, okay, we need to buckle up and come up with a big play. Who's going to make it? Riverside going for the end zone. And how about Goodell Waters? No relation to Skip. He gets the interception, and AG goes right down the field, and Walker stocks. You better take stock in Walker. He scores the game winner. They put the drive together when they need to. AG wins it 28-21.
Well, I mean, we finally did something we've been trying to do all night. We hadn't executed all night. We finally put together one drive where we were able to get down and actually execute a little bit. And I don't know if they got tired or how it worked out, but fortunately we were able to make a play. And you always, a win is a win. It doesn't matter how you get it, but at this point, we got a lot to work on. So we got to get back to work on Monday to move on for Prince Central.
So AG starts off. The defending 1AA Eastern finalists are off to a pretty good start. Riverside going back to the drawing board.
All right, another 1A Power. Plymouth had its traditional opener against Farmville, the Jags. Montez Febreze, how about this pass?
Smells nice.
DeAndre Phelps, and he's gone, folks. See ya. Touchdown. How about Kendrick Pitt? 10-yard run. Boom, boom, boom. Don't slow him down with your arms. You got to hit him with your leg, boys. All right, now Drew Long, Farmville. How about touchdown for him? Dropping that shoulder. Got to wrap up, boys. He's going to keep getting there. Bounces off the tackles, and that's good. Kendrick Pitt. Long run here. Again, trying to get him low. Got him with the waist. 3 guys it took to bring that big fella down.
52-20. Plymouth gets the win over Farmville. Joe Senior Kingston both made it to state championship games last season. They lost heartbreakers. The two kicked it off in K-Town in 2012, and they call them the Nasty Boys. Jones Senior's defense, and boy, they were nasty early on. Javon Andrews, 2 picks in the first half. But Nick Anderson, he caught a record-setting bass last year in Virginia. He says, we're going to catch ourselves a pretty good quarterback this year. Vaquan Joyner filling in for C.J. Bradshaw last year some, getting the start this year. He finds Anthony Pitts, who coasts in. Or actually, George Jones, who coasts in. And yeah, the iPad on the sidelines this year, catching the footage of Joyner again, this time to Anthony Pitts. And Kinston gets the win by the final of 37-7 over Jones Senior.
All right, James Keenan won a state title in 2007. The Tigers are being picked by many to return to the top perch that's been occupied by their rivals at Wallace Rose Hill. JK made the short trip up Highway 117 to Dudley to take on Southern Wayne. And here's the handoff. Up the middle, the little guy. That's a face mask. They threw the flag. It didn't matter. He kept going. Touchdown. Right, Aaron? Yeah, it gets everybody in a good mood. Then the quarterback keeper up the middle, and he's in. So number 5 scoring. Trying to get a defensive call right. How about 28-12 for James Keenan? getting the win over the Saints.
Looking good. Southwest Onslow Stallions gallop to Elizabethtown to take on perennial power East Bladen. And oh, those Stallions galloping in. All signs pointing to another good SWO team. Put up those horseshoes. The big guy, Jerome Bettis style, running hard. And this is actually Wallace Rose Hill, as Wallace Rose Hill is going to get the win over Whiteville by the final of something to a lot to a little. We'll get to that score in a little bit. We're just getting started here on the Blitz. We've got a bunch more highlights to show you, including Southwest Onslow and East Bladen. We will tell you the Stallions came out on fire, and they never look back. They're rolling, rolling, rolling. Watch those Stallions rolling right. There they go. SWO drags their way in. They get the 27-7 win over East Bladen. Now we have more highlights to show you, but first, our fans in the stands. We're going to go back out to Littlefield, where the Chargers fans are all charged up. They get a big win over Riverside. The Blitz will be right back. Common knowledge around here, Drew. Newbern doesn't rebuild, the Bears reload.
And the two-time state semifinalists, they have another strong group of players, including 4 who've already verbally committed to D1 colleges next year. But Newbern opened this season with an equally talented side in Hillside out of Durham. Cheerleaders, they're pretty fired up for the Blitz. And how about Josh Taylor pitching over to the side, and it looks like a big loss, and instead he turns the corner, dives in over the pylon, touchdown.
Chandler Powell.
And a lot of the Bears here. Now the big fella, Jaqueen Watkins, barreling through, gets the yardage there. Coach telling him, hey, we started good, but we got to finish, so hey, how about giving it to Watkins again? In for the touchdown. All Newbern in this one. They pound Hillside 48 to 20, 40 to 20.
Next up for the Bears, a trip to Havelock. Defending 3A champs hit the road to Greenville to take on J.H. Rose. The Rams went after their school record-tying 17th straight win. We've heard a lot about Darrell Scott. How about Taylor Woods, the other running back in the backfield for the Rams? And Scott, great Scott, he's going to go in. Now, that's great Woods, through the woods in the forest. How about a great Scott sighting? Here comes Darrell Scott. He's been offered by Ohio State, Florida State. You name it, everybody in between. Number 24, the junior with a 3.8 GPA, looking great. Then, how about Pharaoh Cooper playing quarterback this year? Gets the 2-point conversion. Havelock gets the win by the final of 48-14.
All right, West Craven hosting South Brunswick. Matthew Rigsby era starting in Vanceboro. Cedric Daniels with a big run for South Brunswick, breaking some tackles, a little fella. Being dragged down by behind there. That's going to set up Damani Johnson, the big fella, number 33, rolling in for the first score of the ballgame. That puts South Brunswick up 7-0. But Demetrius Abrams would find Torrey Jackson all alone, and he's in for a score. After his safety gives him an 8-6 lead, Abrams catches him with only 11 seconds to go in the half. They were looking for the Hail Mary. He runs it in for the score, and it's all West Craven. All over South Brunswick, 27-13.
All right, meanwhile, we've got all sorts of games going on. Northside White Oak in their annual opener for Northern Jacksonville bragging rights. The Monarchs had won 8 straight going into tonight's showdown. And new Vikings head coach Chad Ashley hoping to change all that. The Vikings running out looking to start a new era, but it would not happen for Coach Ashley as his team forced to punt early and often in another shutout for the Vikings as Trey Eason and company, they're going to come up with the win over White Oak by the final of 35-0.
All right, just down the road, Jacksonville opens its season at home against Laney out of Wilmington. And a good crowd on hand. And the handoff over to 32, and he's stuffed in the backfield. Tough D for Laney. How about another sack? And Laney falls to Jacksonville, 7-6.
Stuffed a 2-point conversion at the end. North Pitt and Washington had their traditional border war to open the season. The two neighbors met at Choppy Wagner Stadium in the original Washington. And, well, this one would go how maybe it's gone in the past. As a close one, that would be. As the Pam Pack, how about they go running late? 28-20. Washington runs away with it over North Pitt. North and North Green Central had their battle in Browntown in Snow Hill. Austin Batchelor, he's going to get sacked for a safety. The safety would be the difference. This actually, South Lenoir taking on Spring Creek. And how about Dominique Cox? He gets the quarterback sack. Brian Hanks has lost more than 30 pounds, and boy, he's looking good. And he's looking for Will Graves. Over 100 yards rushing, caught a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, also had an interception. South Lenore rolls over Spring Creek, 42-7. Now we go to North Lenore and Green Central. And this one, a 2-point contest that went down to the wire.
Austin Batchelor, the quarterback. And he gets sacked a little early. And this one, a big final 21-19, a 2-point conversion at the horn. Wins it for Green Central.
All right, quickly out to South Lenore, South Side, and North Duplin. And how about the Rebels? Rebels yelling tonight. They are going to get the win over South Side. North Side gets the win. North Duplin gets the win, 48-14. We still have our bonus game and our play of the day to show you. But first, it's our Blitz hit of the night. We go back out to Littlefield, Aiden Grifton. That's where this number 23 lays the wood on the kickoff. And then watch this hit on defense as AG gets the win over Riverside, 28-21. We'll be right back. It's our bonus game. Pamlico opened its season on the road against Croatan. The Hurricanes have a new head coach in Mike Twitchell, big fella. Check out Jonathan Rigsby's going to come up with a fumble recovery for the Cougs. And that would set up Kyle Hopewell to Mitchell Smith. Croatan gets the win 21-0. Our Blitz play of the day.
Play of the day has to be Demetrius Abrams again catching the South Brunswick D. Off balance, 50-yard score.